we have received shocking details this morning regarding the death of Rob Reiner and his wife Michelle in their Brentwood home. Rob Reiner obviously being the legendary director and producer who created movies such as A Few Good Men and The Princess Bride. We'll go into the exclusive details we have in a second, but first I want to get into the general overview and what we know. So yesterday, Sunday at 3:30 p.m., we received a report that an ambulance had been called to the home of Rob and Michelle Reiner, and that two deceased people were found inside, a man being 78 and a woman being 68, with lacerations on their throat consistent with a knife. Now, later that night at 7:30, it was confirmed to be Rob and Michelle Reiner. We were told that they were found by their 28-year-old daughter, Romy Reiner. What's interesting about this is that upon finding her deceased parents, she had called the ambulance got there, and she had actually told authorities that there was one specific family member that should definitely be at the top of the suspect list. This family member is none other than Nick Reiner. This came as a huge shock because it's actually seemed like for a while that Nick and his father Rob definitely weren't on the best of terms all the time, but they definitely had a decent relationship to the point where they even made a movie together. They've been in interviews together. So it came as a shock to a lot of people that were familiar with Rob Reiner and his family. There's something that we learned which kind of gives us an insight into what happened leading up to the homicide itself. We're told that there was a Christmas party hosted Saturday night, just a day before the murder, by Conan O'Brien. There were a lot of movie producers, there were a lot of directors there, and we're told by sources closely connected to the case that there was a huge fight between Rob Reiner and his son Nick. This fight was apparently so big that it was extremely difficult for the people around them to ignore. And it just got to a point, we're told, where Nick and his mom Michelle had to leave the event. We don't know what this fight was about, we don't know why the disagreement was so big, but we were just told that it was so explosive that it was really hard to ignore. Speaking of Michelle, Nick's mom, we're told that Michelle, in the months leading up to the homicide, had been telling her friends and family that her and her husband Rob were at her wits' end, and I quote that, their wits' end, regarding Nick and his behavior and his mental health issues and his issues with substance abuse. Now, this also gives us a peek into the mental state of Nick Reiner leading up to the events, because when somebody is dealing with mental health issues, when you couple that with substance abuse, things can become extremely explosive. And maybe, you know, this is all conjecture, but maybe that was what was happening at Conan O'Brien's Christmas party. Eric Idle, for example, has said that he spoke to Rob in the time leading up to his death, and he seemed fine. There was no concern for his safety, there was no concern for his son Nick, so it seems like this caught them completely off guard. Now, what we know at this time is that Nick has been charged with the murder of his parents, and he is currently being held on a $4 million bail. The death of Rob and his wife has sent shockwaves throughout the internet and the film industry. You have people like Barack Obama coming out, for example, talking about it. You have people like Donald Trump that are coming out and talking about it. So again, this is a very high-profile case, and I'm sure because in cases like this, they're usually very quick to get to court. So we will know in the coming months exactly what the motive was behind this killing, what the argument was at Conan O'Brien's house, Nick's history with mental health, Nick's history with his substance abuse issues. And I think when all of that comes to light in a court of law, we'll get a very clear picture about what happened and why it happened. But for now, make sure to subscribe because we're going to keep our ear to the ground for you. And when we have an update, you will hear about it here on the TMZ YouTube channel. Guys, my name is Jakson Buhaj. Thanks for sticking around, and I'll see you soon.